Hello everyone, this is Tormuse, picking up where I left off in Doki Doki New Eyes. We last left off, where did we last leave off? Into day 4, about to be doing the, this is going to be deciding what to do for the weekend and all that. I think we're still at the beginning of the day actually. Anyway, it's moving on right along. Oh man, the last one here again. Don't worry, I just walked in too. Are you practicing piano again? Yeah, you must have a lot of determination, starting this club and now picking up piano. Well, maybe not determination, but I guess passion. Remember that the club wouldn't be here if it wasn't for all of you. I'm super happy that you're all willing to help out for the festival too. I smile at Monika. It's obvious that she's grateful for our help. None of this would exist without her. We should be thanking her. Ah, I can't wait for the festival. It's gonna be great. Oh, here comes your squid joke. Eh? Weren't you complaining about it yesterday, Natsuki? Well, yeah. Not talking about our part of the festival, but it's a whole day of school where we get to play and eat all kinds of delicious food. You sound a bit like Sayuri all of a sudden. I glance at Sayuri. She doesn't move. I'm not sure she's even listening to us. Ah, God. So you usually have fried squid? Squid? That's a pretty specific thing to look forward to. Oh, come on. Are you saying you don't like squid? You of all people? I didn't say I don't like it. Besides, what do you mean by you of all people? Because it's right in your name. Monika. She's in an extremely good mood today. Especially compared to yesterday. Is it thanks to her outing with Sayuri, maybe? Eh? That's not how you say my name at all. Also, that joke makes no sense in translation. Here's Dan Silvato's little bit of meta humor there. Even though it's an American game made in English, it's playing on Japanese tropes, so it has to include a Japanese pun, even though it makes no sense. Anyway, Natsuki and I both look at Monika with quizzical looks. Translation? What is she talking about? Never mind. Let's just focus on our own event for now, okay? Fine. Your reactions aren't as fun as Yuri's or Sayuri's anyway. And you see, and then there's like that line doesn't. Sorry, I'm just. Did she even talk to them earlier? I don't know. It just. What am I trying to say here? Yeah, it's like it's another one of those moments where like this line no longer has any connection with anything because of Sukadev's changes. Not necessarily because it's changed. Like you know what? I'm just gonna move on. I keep stopping too many times. Natsuki's statement startles me. It surprised me more than it should have. Excuse me. Where's Sayuri anyway? Looks around the room before finally seeing her. She's so quiet, it's easy to forget that she's even here. Hopefully Tormuse will find out what's wrong with her today. It's heart-wrenching to see her like that. Oh, there you are. Tormuse walks over to Sayuri with a gentle smile. I stare at him for a few seconds before Monika leans closer to me. Yuri? I wasn't staring, don't worry. No, I don't really mind that. It's just that since you were here before me, have you noticed anything strange with Sayuri lately? She's even quieter than usual, and she doesn't look fine to me. Oh. Well, she's greeted us with a smile on her face as usual, but something was different today. She didn't even sit with us at the table. I've noticed that. Has she said anything in particular? Did something happen today? I think this question seemed a little too personal. Maybe she should be asking Sayuri directly, but I can understand her concern. I don't know at all. I haven't seen her before she came in the club room. I'm sorry, I'm not really useful. No, don't worry. You tried your best. Monika turns around and walks to her desk. A few seconds later, she's joined by Tormuse, who seemingly looks concerned. What did Sayuri tell him? I take a step forward to approach her. I want to help her. Even before I even take another step, Natsuki stops me. Don't. I think it'd be better if Tormuse and Monika take care of her. Why don't we go outside for a little bit? Okay, here we go. Let's please take us away from the canon dialogue. I nod, not fully understanding the situation I'm in. Natsuki would be the first one to help someone like Sayuri, so why doesn't she want to try? Both exit the room. So, you know how I went to the cinema with Sayuri yesterday? Before you ask, no, I won't tell you what I've learned, but at some point, we happened to talk about Tormuse, and Sayuri, well, she's all happy and cheerful as usual, but I could sense something was wrong. I think she's been acting weirder and weirder these last few days. Indeed. I was just talking about it with Monika. I don't want to make it sound like I'm minding other people's business, but I'm concerned, and there's nothing I can do about it. Thought flashes across my mind. Back when I saw Sayuri's cut, why didn't I do anything? Even though cutting makes some people feel good, it makes me realize it's not healthy. I've been stupid. Yes, there is something you can do about it, Yuri, and we've talked about it already. Try to remember the latest talks we've had. Spending time with Sayuri, right? What can I do about it? I'm powerless in this situation. Can't remember? I'm sorry, I really can't. God, take a shot. What did I tell you yesterday? We have to try seeing her outside of school. She's our friend, right? So why don't we do what real friends do? Our outing at the cinema was really entertaining, and I believe Sayuri enjoyed her time out. Well, despite her behavior when we mentioned Tormuse. Natsuki sighs. Don't you think that's the least we can do for her? That makes sense. You know, I'd love to be closer to Sayuri sometimes, and even closer to Tormuse. Natsuki's expression suddenly changes. I'll just keep it Sayuri, alright? So I'm not even allowed to talk about him? I'm happy for Natsuki and her newly found friendship, but this is a little too much. Alright, yes, Sayuri. Do you think she'd actually like spending time with me? Why do you think I asked you to spend some time with her? We're all in the same club, aren't we? This isn't a pure coincidence, Yuri. This is fate. Interesting. So have a bit of confidence and go show Sayuri how much you enjoy our friendship. Natsuki's unexpectedly poetic today. This is deep, Natsuki. Sorry, poetic? Deep? What? Because she said it's fate? Okay. I guess. I know. I should teach you my ways one day. I sarcastically chuckle. Of course. Natsuki goes back into the club room. I stay behind for a few seconds. Natsuki was right. I should show Sayuri that our friendship counts. I've never been good at showing my emotions, but Sayuri needs it. However, something in this conversation left me feeling something bitter. Why can't I talk about Tormuse? He's merely a member of our club. I'm allowed to appreciate him, right? I shake my head, trying to forget Natsuki's sudden reaction. I'm free to talk about whoever I want. So I enter, I see Monika talking to Sayuri at the back of the room. Tormuse is sitting at the table, looking at nothing in particular. He looks lost. Is he really that worried about Sayuri? I stand there for a few seconds staring at him. I'd like to tell him that everything's fine, that I'll take care of Sayuri, but really, who better than him to do that? He's known her for so many years. Before I can end the ongoing debate in my head, Natsuki shyly approaches Tormuse. I move away. I don't want to hear what they're talking about. I may end up getting curious and I'll probably ask Natsuki about it. It's not worth the risk. I look around the room. Natsuki and Tormuse are talking. Monika's still whispering something to Sayuri. I'm just standing here, looking at everyone. This is awkward. I sit down, looking at the floor. I want to grab my book and read it, but just like every single time, the closer I'm getting to the end, the more I don't want it to end. A paradoxical feeling. Monika finally stands up, glancing one last time at Sayuri before finally walking towards me. I inquisitively look at her. Looks like she understands my concern. She sits down next to me and smiles. I just had a talk with Sayuri. I saw that, yes. How is she? From what I've seen, she's fine. Maybe just feeling a little tired or low, but who doesn't every now and again? I see what you mean, yes. But doesn't she want to join us now? Because it still doesn't explain why she's away from us. Oh, yeah, that. Well, I think I can guess why she's a little distant. Is that so? How come then? I don't probably sound so awfully curious, but I don't mind. Concerned, nobody can say the contrary. I'm sorry, but I don't think I can tell you anything about it. Not now, at least. Maybe you should ask her about it tomorrow. Tomorrow? Natsuki thinks I should show my friendship to Sayuri. Do you think I should do it? Definitely. Monika's instant reaction startles me. Really? But I don't know much about her. Won't it be a little awkward? Yuri, you're supposed to be the most poetic one here. Friendship defies both words and logic. Is that a quote? Or something? There were quotation marks around it. I'm not sure where that's lifted from. It doesn't matter if you don't know much about her, or if you feel like it'll be awkward. As long as you show your true feelings, and as long as you show who you are and what you can do for her, then you're a friend. And a good friend, on top of that. I'm at a loss for words. What Monika just said genuinely made me smile. Friendship defies both words and logic. It makes sense. Maybe I should just trust myself. I nod at Monika, smiling at her. Monika, thank you. Don't thank me. I'm just being logical. She glances behind me. It's time to get started with our poems. Monika walks away and gets ready to call everyone. I slowly walk to the main table, glancing at Sayuri as I do so. She'll be fine. She'll be fine today, and after what Monika told her, I turn my head back to Monika. Okay, everyone. Why don't we share our poems now? I open my bag to grab the poem I wrote during the lunch break. I'm proud of it, and I'll soon get to know what Tormes has done. Has he improved over time? I'm pretty sure he did. Even if he's getting inspired by Natsuki's style, he's still improving. I glance at him. He immediately walks towards Natsuki, ready to share his poem. I was expecting that. I'll just wait for him to choose me after her, then. As usual, Monika approaches me, obviously wanting to share her poem. It's becoming a habit. I wait for her to hand it to me. Can't wait to hear what you think about it. As usual, I guess. Did you have any particular idea for your poem? Well, just read it. You'll tell me if you understand. Sure. This would be the lady who knows everything. This isn't the whole poem. Where's the rest of it? Oh, there you go. Yeah. Okay. I would have been very cramped if you tried to put it on one page like you did all the other poems. Anyway, our poem sure was lengthy today. It felt different. Something about it is unsettling. I have to admit I like it less than the one from yesterday. Couldn't really understand the subject, nor could I feel anything in particular in it. This is bothering me. What am I supposed to tell Monika? I worriedly glance at her. She's always so happy and proud of her poems. Wouldn't it be awfully mean for me to tell her I didn't like it? But I have to be honest. If I'm not honest, then this club has no point. What am I supposed to do? Yuri, is everything alright? Huh? I jerk my head up. I have no choice then. Yes, everything's fine. I was just thinking. Monika, are you sure it's fine if I give you my honest opinion? Will you hate me because of it? My, Yuri. I've already told you if I didn't want an honest opinion, I'd ask someone else. Judging from the face you're making me now, I'm guessing my poem isn't really good, is it? No. I look down, trying to keep a neutral expression. I haven't said it's bad. Alright. I'll try to give you as much constructive criticism as possible. Okay, I'm listening. The first thing that struck me when I read your poem was the rhythm. Comparatively to the ones you wrote before, I think this one is different. It's not bad, it's just not precise, and it bothered me while voicing it in my head. Next to length, I had to turn it over to keep reading it. I know some poets like to write long poems, and totally respect it. However, when you want to convey emotions and ideas, it's better to keep it short and powerful. You tend to easily forget the details you wrote at the beginning, and it ends up being hard to follow for the reader. As I was getting to the end, I had already forgotten about the start. And finally, the subject itself. I understand that you wanted to make it abstract, maybe to hide its real meaning or to give it some more charm. However, I feel like you've mixed too much abstract and concrete elements here. Maybe unable to understand whether you were talking about something symbolic or possibly contemptible. Well, to conclude, I'd say that your poem definitely isn't bad. It's really less consistent than the ones you've written before. I enjoyed it, though. But something tells me you weren't really into it when you wrote it, am I right? I stop staring at the poem and I look up at Monika. She's attentively listening to me, smiling. I take a few seconds to realize how big of a monologue I just recited? I think it's a typo. I think it's supposed to say recited. Oh my, did I just monologue again? I'm sorry, I had so many things to say. It's fine. I really liked hearing your thoughts. Another typo. Everything you said made perfect sense. Tried something a little different, but I guess I have my own style after all. I'll try rewriting this one sometime. And about that last inquiry, yeah, I wasn't too focused when I wrote it. I had some things on my mind. I'll do my best to bring an interesting poem for the festival. I'm sure you'll write something great, Monika. I'll be cheering you on. Thank you, Yuri. Your turn now. I'm really curious. What have you written for today? Oh, I hesitate for a few seconds. Natsuki and I have decided to write about the same subject. And no, skipped over a message there. It's not me doing it, so it's baked into the mod. It's skipping ahead. I'm sorry, I may sound stereotypical and cliche, and now, Yuri, that'll be up to me. I'll give you an A honest opinion? I would have said an honest opinion. An honest opinion, too. I finally hand her my poem. She puts hers away and starts reading mine. She looks incredibly focused, as if she were trying to understand every single word I wrote. Monika's face is so funny when she's focused. It's almost cute. Oh. Oh, really? Oh. Yuri's gay is showing again. Eureka confirmed. Sorry. Not sorry. She suddenly perks her head up and stares at me intently. I don't want to make it sound like I'm begging, but do you think you could teach me some of your techniques someday? Huh? I don't know how I should answer. Is Monika merely teasing me, or does she really want me to do it? I'm yearning to do it. I'd love to share my passion with someone, but try to conceal my smile, but I don't last 5 seconds. Sure, I mean, it'd be a good idea. But your style is so great. I'm sure we could do some You're right to that. But your style is great. I'm sure we could do some amazing things together. If you want. For real? Thank you. I'd love learning a thing or two from your writing. I know it's not really your writing in a way, but she practically mumbles the last part, making me unable to understand the rest of her sentence. Pardon? Oh, no, nothing. I was saying nonsense. She hands me my poem, looking a little embarrassed. Truth is, I was trying to imitate your style with my poem. I didn't really succeed. That's why I hope you'll teach me some interesting things. I'm flattered by Monika's revelation. I shyly smile at her once again. I look forward to working with you. She turns around, gently humming. I should be grateful for having such wonderful friends. No matter how bad things get, they're always there for me. If they weren't there, I'd be all alone. I smile to myself. I'm a lucky person. I got my book. I don't know how long it'll take for Tormies to talk to Natsuki. By the way, I can't help thinking, like, it's kind of funny that Yuri is suggesting that Monika be more concise in her poem, that it's too long, at the same time rambling on too long. Like, I wonder if that's some deliberate meta-commentary, or... Anyway, moving on. As soon as I think about him, my hands freeze. I managed to forget about him, but now it's just... calm down. I skipped over something again. Just read for a little bit, and from the corner of my eye I spot him walking towards me, waving. I close the book and I try to smile. I'm conflicted. Everybody said yesterday and how he didn't agree with my arguments. How can I say no to a smile? Even his writing is becoming more and more interesting. This is unfair. He hands me his poem, looking away. Out of the word, I start reading it. I guess marshmallow. So they're all Natsuki root words then. Once again, I'm feeling conflicted. Can't help but let my personal feelings get in my way. His style is clearly starting to look like something. However, this something looks awfully close to Natsuki's. It shouldn't bother me, really. But it's, I don't know, I don't think it's fitting for his personality. I silently apologize to Natsuki in the back of my head. Decide to try something different today? I guess so. Is that good or bad? Well, neither. I have my preferences, but it would be unfair of me to call something good or bad based on that. All good until now. Not letting my personal interests get in the way here. It's making me sound awfully cold. I hope I'm doing the right thing. I understand why he's trying to imitate her style, but the goal here is to find his own style. Getting inspiration is good, however imitating isn't. As always. Wait. Did we just go from Yuri being pleased with Monika imitating her style to saying that imitating isn't good? Didn't we just talk about... Again, I don't know. I feel like this mod is contradicting itself. Anyway, moving on. As always, I believe what's most important is exploring and discovering yourself. That's comforting. Kind of afraid of disappointing you in some way or another. Huh? Why me? I look at the ground. Why? Why is he scared of disappointing me? It can't be because he's afraid of my opinion, right? Or is it because he actually wants to impress me? No, that's just stupid. He tried to impress Natsuki, right? Well, you're always sophisticated with your writing and have most advice to share. Is that so? I nervously play with my hair. Of course. This is how he sees me. Not a know-it-all or someone who would purposely be mean to someone else. This This is nothing but pure speculation. We've barely spoken after all. That must be terrible. Eh? For me to have become someone whose opinion is fearsome. How unlikable of me. Yuri, it's not as bad as you're making it sound in your head. I just mean that I respect your opinion. I see. I'm sorry that I always overthink and come to those sorts of conclusions. I'm just a little too used to it. Overthinking? Being disliked? I suddenly, why, this is what we're supposed to be talking about. I don't dare look at Termes' face. I probably just sound miserable. I have friends here. I don't need more, right? What I said wasn't true. No, it wasn't. Sorry, what did that say? I'm not used to being disliked. Oh. You're not used to being disliked? Is this another instance of Sugita, like, choosing to contradict the canon again? You know, it's... I know I keep saying it, but it's still bugging me. That he's... Sugita is trying to tie it to the original canon, while also... I mean... Putting your own twists and takes on it is fine, but when you directly contradict yourself, or not, like try to contradict it while also tying to it, it's just off-putting. It makes, because like it just, me as the reader, it makes me confused about what's canon, what's real, what's happening at this point, you know, like how much of this is diverging from, like, deliberately diverging from the canon, or if it's just what am I even trying to say here? You know, I should just keep reading. Doing far too much rambling here. Anyway, Yuri, what am I saying? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring that up. Let's move on. Luckily, Termes doesn't look too bothered. He quickly changes the subject. I'm relieved. I don't know if he's doing this for me, but I'm grateful. Alright. You want to share your poem now? Okay, here. I handed my poem, crossed my fingers with my free hand. Natsuki's poem dealt with the same subject, so he'll probably prefer it. But I know he's going to have an objective look at it. At least I hope so. A few minutes pass before he finally stops reading. He's just standing there looking at me. Won't he say something? Am I supposed to talk here first here? I'm aware that the beach is kind of an inane thing to write about, but I did my best to take a metaphorical approach to it. You say that like you didn't even want to write about it. Oh, so Natsuki hasn't told him about our little literary agreement then. I think the implication here is that Natsuki, because this is the Natsuki route, that she shared her special poem with Amir instead of the beach poem. Oh, you haven't heard? After yesterday, Natsuki and I, well, it was amusing that we wrote about something similar in such different ways, so Natsuki wanted us to write about the same topic as each other again. I see. His reaction is awfully mundane. It's like he doesn't really care in the end. He hasn't really said anything about the poem itself. I suppose to better compare the differences in our writing styles or thought processes. Anyway, it was her idea. Knowing her, it's no surprise that she'd want to do something like that. She probably just wants to show off. It's not like I have a particular interest in her writing style. I just went with the request. I'm sounding like an idiot, aren't I? I can't just talk about Natsuki like that, but something just compels me to try and justify myself. I don't want Termes to hate me, but I don't want Natsuki to hate me either. It's hard to please everyone. It's too hard. But, well, I suppose it's not so bad to write about something simple on occasion. It can be refreshing, you know? It's good for me to calm my thoughts once in a while. Yeah, I think I agree. Thanks for sharing. I sigh as Termes turns around. We haven't really talked about my poem in the end. Guess I'm not really the most desirable person. I should have acted more outgoing, maybe. Like Natsuki? But I'm not like her. I can't change myself just for his sake. Or can I? I shake my head. This is wrong. I want the best for Natsuki, period. I see her sitting at the table waiting for the poem and sharing session to finish. For the first time this week, I'm the one who approaches her to share my poem. Natsuki? We're supposed to share poems, you know. Oh, yes, of course. That's right. Looks like she doesn't really want to share a poem. Did something happen between her and Termuse? This is none of my business after all. I brightly smile at Natsuki. I'm sure you've written something impressing. Can I read it? Of course. We get to watch it in teeny weeny vision now. Yeah, it's Yuri, or Natsuki's beach poem. Hold on a second, I need to pause the recording for a moment. And I'm back, and it looks like it skipped past the poem while it was away from the computer. I don't think it skipped over anything else, did it? Okay. Yeah, sorry, I had to take a moment to get a snack because my blood sugar was crashing. It was making it hard to concentrate. Probably should have eaten a proper meal before starting this. Anyway, moving on. I have to admit, I'm impressed. Her poem is considerably longer than usual, and something about it feels different. Like she wrote it with some real feelings behind it. I'd say your take at such a cliche subject is really great. It is good, Natsuki. I really liked it. That's so. I'm glad you did. She doesn't say much more. After a few seconds of silence, she holds her hand out for me to give her the poem back. I hand her my poem. She reads it 1 or 2 times, occasionally squinting her eyes. After a minute of reading, she finally puts it on the desk. Huh, yeah, it's good. I think you did well. It's impressive. She hesitates a little. Tell me, what did Termuse think about it? Why does that matter? Just, did he say anything about it? I slowly sigh. No, he didn't. Our interactions have been a little awkward, to say the least. For a second, I'd swear I saw Natsuki sighing in relief. I grab my poem on my desk and I stand up. Well, thank you for sharing. She nods at me and I silently walk back to my chair. Just why does she have to talk about it at this instant? Especially after she forbid Yuri from talking about him. Anyway, we're supposed to be sharing our work. We wrote about the subject because we wanted to see how each of us would interpret it, right? We barely exchanged our opinions. This is frustrating. Maybe she's just in a bad mood today? Yeah, that must be it. I look around the room. It looks like Monika's done with Termuse. The latter subject is walking towards Sayuri, poem in hand. Just like he did with me, he hands her the poem without a word. As I look at the other side of the room, I see Monika and Natsuki chatting. I decide to approach them. Hopefully I'll be able to join the conversation. I'm not too sure about how to feel. I don't want to talk about it with Yuri either. How come? I'm sure she'd be glad to help you. No, she wouldn't. I've seen the way she looks at him, you know. She's often staring. Just what are they talking about? Don't tell me. You should be more considerate, Natsuki. I understand that you'd like to get closer to Termuse, but keep in mind Yuri's been there for you. I've got circumstances. I really can't explain what it's about, but I promise you Yuri's very important to me. However, Listen, I just can't tell you. Monika shakes her head. Slowly turn around to quietly get back to my chair. I guess we'll say quietly. Get back to my chair. However, as I do so, my hip hits one of the tables. The two of them instantly notice me. Yuri, have you happened to hear what we said? Such an awkward sentence. From Natsuki of all people. Yeah, incidentally, I was going to say, I've commented a few times about how this mod kind of awkwardly tries to tie itself to rain clouds. The problem with that is that rain clouds, you can tell that when rain clouds was made, Sukadev had no intention of making this mod. He had no intention of making New Eyes. He had no intention of making a Yuri point of view that ties in with it. He had no plans to, and which is also evidenced by the fact that he, back in February 2018, he made a post asking people if they'd be interested, or saying that he was considering it. Long after Rain Clouds came out. So it's like, it's. I don't know. It's just. I guess what I'm saying is it's a little obvious that when I don't know. I guess things are sort of shoehorned in to fit. This bit here, though, sort of indicates to you that maybe he wrote this with plans to expand on Natsuki's story. which I have heard that he did intend to make a Natsuki point of view mod after this. I don't think he ever did. I don't know. Again, I haven't seen him around the community much. I think he went off making DDLC mods. Anyway, I guess what I'm saying is, I do see, as much as I'm hard on this mod, I'm very aware that I'm being hard on it. I do see signs that he's learning from his mistakes. As much as I complain about how bland it is, like where the scenes where they're in the club and it's just following the vanilla dialogue, it is still an improvement over Rain Clouds. And I get the feeling that he is trying to put some, take some of the criticisms of Rain Clouds to heart and use it to improve future projects. So hopefully he's. What I'm saying is I take this bit here as a sign that he's recognizing that, oh crap, I wrote myself into a corner, and it's just terribly awkward trying to tie this to the Rain Clouds canon. So let's try to make some openings where I can tie it in with Natsuki's story later. Props to Sukada for that. Anyway, moving on. Oh, just a little bit of it, I guess. And then, do you know about the circumstances Natsuki was talking about? Hey, don't talk about so nonchalantly. Nonchalantly. What a word from Natsuki. Circumstances? I haven't really heard anything about this. What's wrong, Natsuki? Listen, it has nothing to do with you two, alright? Let's get this poem session done for today. She signs us to go away. How mean. I kept my finger on what Natsuki's problem is, and it seems like Monika's having trouble with it too. She has a complex expression on her face. Aren't you a little worried about her? Oh, not really. I think I already know what's going to happen, so I'm not too worried. You know what's going to happen? I think I do, but let's let things happen naturally, alright? She glances at Tormi, who's walking back to us with a confused expression. It takes a few seconds for her to notice that Sayori isn't in the room anymore. Just where'd she go? Without skipping a beat, Monika immediately gets ready to our next club activities. Seems like our conversation's over then. Okay, you three. We're all done sharing poems, right? Why don't we start figuring out... Hold on a second. Is it just me, or did you just say something strange just now? Something did sound a bit unusual. That's right. You deviated from your usual catchphrase when addressing the club. Catchphrase? I don't have a catchphrase. Jeez. Why is the mood so weird today? Look, even Yuri isn't immune to it. Natsuki points her finger at me. It's true that despite the good mood that had settled in my head this morning, everything is quite unsettling now. Stagnating air is common foreshadowing that something terrible is about to happen. I feel a chill down my spine. Suddenly I hear Tormi sarcastically chuckle. In your books, maybe. Look, the only thing different is that Sayori isn't here. It seems you're right. Indeed, not having Sayori with us feels drastically different. It's like her presence soothes us all a little bit. I don't know if she's aware of her influence here. Sayori always helps lighten the mood a little bit, doesn't she? It's almost like everyone's balance is thrown off a little when she's not around. Where the heck could she run off to anyway? Unless she just went to pee. I sighed Natsuki to lower her voice a little. Natsuki, please show some decency. Oh, come on. For some reason, I'm feeling extremely irritated by Natsuki's nonchalant behavior. Use that word again. Instead of using such vocabulary, maybe she should be a little more concerned about her friends. She actually wasn't feeling too well and went home early. Is that so? I hope she's alright. Seriously? For all the times to not go home with her, you picked the time she's not feeling well? So much for you two being all lovey-dovey. And with the way Sukada wrote this, like, this line doesn't make sense now, you know? Like, if you're gonna tie it to the original canon, tied to the original canon. Like, this line makes no sense. Again, you know, and not trying to hold up Storm as being the superior one or anything, but in Storm, I had Yuri and Natsuki talk about, you know, MC and Sayuri having romantic feelings to each other. So there's reason for Natsuki to say this. Now it makes no sense for her to say it, because, again, you know, with this connection to the Raincoat clan, she already told Sayuri that she's, you know, she's in love with MC. So, you know, it's. Yeah, I mean, like, part of this is like it's the time that this came from. This was made 2.5 years ago, so more than 2.5 years ago, really. This came out in May of 2018, right? Anyway, what am I trying to say? Yeah, like. I mean, since then, like, everyone in the DDLC modding community has become really jaded about what's come to be called Act 1 syndrome, just like retreading the original Act 1 of the game. And like, if you're gonna do that, you have to add something to it. And I mean, which is not to say that this mod adds nothing to it, but it's I don't know. It connects with it in weird ways, or there are like, it either connects in weird ways, or it contradicts it, or it just feels like he wants to go in a different direction. But it's tied to it's still tied to the original plot, and I don't know. It's just kind of weird. Like, I've got my own headcanons. I went off of my own headcanons in my own mod, my own Yuri point of view mod. But I did still try to tie it to the I did still try to tie to the original plot, and tried to make everything fit. I wasn't always perfect, but you know, I dare say I didn't put as many discrepancies as this one does. I'm being mean. I shouldn't. Again, I'm not trying to hold my mod up as some kind of golden standard or anything. It's just again, somebody said this mod was better, so it's probably making me look at it through a harsher lens. I am I'm very much of the opinion that you can enjoy any piece of media, whether it's a video game or a story or movie or anything, if you go in with the right expectations. Maybe I went into this with too high expectations. Anyway, moving on. As embarrassing as the situation is, I'd love to hear how Tormes will respond to this. Natsuki clearly had put some thought into her words. No, first of all, stop misunderstanding my friendship with Sayuri, and second, she's kind of been avoiding me today, so I didn't want to force it. Who? I wasn't planning on interrupting, but I'm intrigued. From my point of view, it looked like Tormes was the one avoiding people today. Quid. Is that supposed to say quid pro quo? What? How does the expression quid pro quo even fit in this context? Whatever, I'm moving on. That curious expression come from Yuri of all people? Calm down, guys. I talked to her earlier and everything's fine. What'd she say? Monika doesn't answer. Either she ignored his request or she simply didn't hear it. There'd be no reason to ignore Tormes, though I believe she must be under some stress, aren't we all? Anyway, we need to figure out the rest of the festival preparations, so let's decide what everyone will be doing this weekend. I already know what I'm doing. That's right. Natsuki will be baking cupcakes, but we might need a lot of them in different flavors. Can you handle that all by yourself, Natsuki? Natsuki does her iconic humph to show her determination. Challenge accepted. And as for myself, I'm going to be printing and assembling all the poetry pamphlets. Sayuri will be helping me design them. And as for Yuri, she suddenly stops talking. Seems like she doesn't really know what I can be useful for. Yuri, you can, Monika's voice is suddenly much softer. Guys, can you help me come up with something for Yuri? I am useless. I look down at my feet. This is awkwardly depressing. I'd love to help, but in the end I'm as lost as Monika. I don't even know what I could help the club with. No, that's not it at all. You're the most talented person here, you know. And now Natsuki's pouting too? Jeez, even I can tell now. I guess I never saw her enough credit, but I can tell. Things are even harder on you when she's not around. If she were around, this matter would have already be settled. But she isn't here, and I can't help but be concerned about her too. Too many things to focus on. That may be the case, but if I can't also be a leader on my own, then I won't grow as a person. So Yuri, you have beautiful handwriting, you know. So you should make some banners and decorations to help set the atmosphere. I slowly raise my head to stare at Monika. Atmosphere? About that? I love atmosphere. I can already see in my mind what I'd like to do. Now, haven't I thought about this earlier? I'd love working on this aspect of the festival. Creating something both powerful and beautiful that'd catch the eye. Something colorful, maybe. American spelling of colorful again. Something that'd show people what kind of group we are. Yes, that could work. My mind is already racing, I see. Termius' comment gets me out of my thoughts. Right, this isn't over yet. One more member needs an assigned role. And that's great. You'll be a wonderful help, Yuri. But anyway, that just leaves you, Termius. The one who's truly useless. Don't say that. In fact, both Natsuki and Yuri have some pretty heavy tasks to handle. It would probably go a long way to give one of them a hand. You'd always help me out as well. I'd be really appreciative of that. That's without even thinking. I imagine what a weekend with Tormius would be like. Spending a day with him, working on our festival preparations. Can I really refuse? No, I can't. I'm sorry, Natsuki. I suppose I wouldn't mind a bit of help. Without letting me finish my sentence, Natsuki starts talking, so she wants to be with him too. Not that I'm surprised, though. Well, even if you don't know how to bake, there's always some dirty work I could give you. Sounds like Monika's going to be giving you a choice, and you shouldn't be sitting on your butt anyway. She keeps talking, always finding more excuses. However, one thing has come to my attention. If I recall, Natsuki, you mentioned that you would like to handle the baking on your own. Sorry, I have to comment on it again. I know I've mentioned this, like, things, like, these, however, one thing's come to my attention, or so she wants to be with them to, like, the sentences like that don't add anything to it. Like, the lines speak for themselves. Those extra lines just make it more bloated. Like, saying, explaining what you're saying just before you say it. Like, if you cut that line out and you just say it, you've already expressed what needs to be expressed. It's like, the reason I keep complaining about it is that it keeps happening, and it makes the mod, it just makes the mod more bloated than it needs to be. Anyway. Termes may not like to be around if you only make him out to be a nuisance, so therefore, he may be more suited to assisting with the decorations. Hold on, I never said that. How are you going to be to make a few decorations anyway? Sounds more like you're just making excuses for Termes to— What are you saying? It'll be extremely meticulous work. And baking isn't? Just what do you think? This girl, she's not the person I know, always trying to fight. Can't you understand I just want someone to help me? Doesn't you get enough time by his side already? It's not too much to ask, right? Once again, I feel anger boiling inside me. Guys, let's settle down for a moment. In the end, I think it's up to Tormes to decide how he'd like to contribute. Besides, he hasn't really gotten the chance to spend any time with me yet, you know? So I'm sure he's interested. You literally just said— I'm surprised as well. Monika, of all people. In a way, it's true she's been working hard for all of us lately. She hasn't even gotten some time to get to know Tormes. Sorry. I was just saying, though. Jeez. Can we just settle this already? Yeah. Termes, you're okay with this, right? In the end, it's up to you. Of course. You know, I've been trying to think, there's this niggling thing getting to me all through this playing through this mod that I'm trying to put my finger on it. I like something bugging me about it. I can't quite put into words. There's just so much of these incidental Yuri internal monologue lines. It's just her reacting to what's happening, and there are inconsistencies in it. Like it comes across like Sukadev didn't have a real plan for how to connect these ideas together. Like some like, I'm not saying it's always the case. Like there are some instances where they're clearly tied together, but some of them just feel a little random. Like yeah, like these lines here. It's just like how does that tie into? Like Yuri's just saying that she wants to have spend time with MC, and I don't know. I'm having trouble articulating my thoughts. I should just keep reading. Of course. Huh. Very well. In that case, the three of us are intently staring at Tormes. I think the outcome of his choice is predictable. But there's a little hope that he'll choose me, right? Please? Well, baking sounds like it could be fun. You guys made it sound like a lot of work, so it could probably use 2 people. Don't worry. Baking's a ton of fun. You'll definitely agree. Eh? Just a minute ago you were saying that's because... Never mind, okay? Well, anyway, you'll be fine by yourself, right, Yuri? My mind has been processing what just happened for the last few minutes. I was expecting this reaction. I'll end up doing it alone, huh? Of course. I'm used to it after all. And again, the I'm used to it line is because Yuri spends all her time by herself in the original canon, but we're rewriting the canon so that she and Natsuki are childhood friends, so this line doesn't make sense anymore. Anyway, moving on. That's good. Judging by Tormes and Monika's reactions, I may have said it too dramatically, but I am a bit saddened. However, maybe it's for the best. I still don't know if Mom will be back this weekend. Oh hey, there we go. Now you're starting to tie it back to your ideas that you've established before. not just mindlessly reacting to what's right in front of you. Natsuki doesn't seem to care about the current situation and keeps going. So that's everything, right? Anything else we need to talk about? No, I think that's it. Are you guys excited? Yes! Everything except the performance is gonna be awesome. I don't think that really counts. What about you, Tormes? Me? I guess you could say I'm interested to see how it'll turn out. That's good enough for me. What about you, Yuri? Yuri? She's still stalking. I know they're talking about me, but I can't bring myself to talk. I don't want to. My thoughts are conflicting with one another. I'm here to support Natsuki, but the lack of compassion she's shown, thank God, take a shot, it didn't end up being another argument. I don't think she'd have forgiven me this time. I even wonder if she fully forgave me about last time. It's not that big of a deal or anything. Well, it might not be just that. I think that Yuri might just be feeling a little underappreciated in general. Having to come up with something for her to do and then nobody offering to help. I want to smile at Tormes' statement. It's not particularly wrong. You know that my friends value me, of course. This may be putting a little too much pressure on me in the end. That doesn't mean... She glances at everyone alternatively. Look, I'm startled as Natsuki suddenly puts her hands on my shoulders. Yuri, you really are the most talented one here. And you're going to help make the event a lot more fun and welcoming. I mean, the cupcakes will probably help a lot too, but you're going to make the atmosphere special. That'll be really important for the way that people feel during the performances. So, you need to stop being dumb and give yourself a little more credit. And I lost for words. This is Natsuki. This is my friend. She was obviously trying to lighten the mood, but this is the exact kind of behavior she'd displayed before. I feel a little relieved. Which is a neat kind of a little reversal, by the way. I mean, The funny part about this is in the original canon, Natsuki and Yuri are like they start out hostile toward each other and grow to be friends. But in this, they start as friends, are hostile for no particular reason, except maybe for this hint that you're only doing it because MC is present, and this bit where they're becoming friends is now we're trying to form here. Anyway, moving on. I feel a little relieved. This weekend will go well after all. Natsuki turns around, trying to hide her face. She's most likely blushing. The last sentence, though. Natsuki wouldn't call me dumb. Dummy is the worst thing she'd call me if she were being sincere. You didn't really mean that, did you? Not really, but I stopped looking at Natsuki to concentrate on everyone else. Monika looks a little surprised. Even if she wasn't ready to hear Natsuki speak to me this way, I would expect it anyway. Natsuki isn't the type of person that would say this out in the open. Maybe I made her a little uneasy in the end. If I hadn't been so dramatic. I'm sorry for being dumb. I'm going to do my best. And all of us are going to make it a really great event. Yeah. I hope to see everyone do their best. So with that, there's nothing more for today. So I guess it's time for us to head out. Indeed, after a quick glance outside, the sun is pretty low in the sky. So how long did we stay here? Where's Sayuri? I'd totally forgotten about her. Okay, I'm staying here a bit longer. We really got to do any reading today, so... Fair enough, there's nothing wrong with that. Everyone except Natsuki grabs their bags, ready to exit the club room. Monika and I exit the room first, exchanging meaningless words. Before we exit the room, I hear Natsuki calling Tormuse. He waves at us before walking back into the room. Of course, he isn't going to walk home with us. Now it's just me and Monika. Hey! Time with Monika now? As Monika closes the club door, she sighs. Close one, huh? Excuse me? You're about to start another argument with Natsuki, am I right? That was close. Yes. But it seems that she was able to remember who we are in the first place. And who are you, Yuri? I'm just teasing you. Oh, you scared me for a second. I really thought you'd start philosophically questioning me. No, I would never do that. Shall we get going, then? Of course. The wind is blowing softly. Truly a great feeling. In the end, even though things went awry today, I feel calm. Finally, the end of the week. I'll finally get to know if I'll see Mom again. and also, finally away from the DTLC cans so you can get Sugidev's writing. Yeah, honestly, for all my complaints, I don't mind Sugidev's writing when it gets away from the canon. When he's telling his own story, it's fine. It's fine. It's when he tries to tie it to the canon and it gets really weird, and I'm uncertain of what's happening. Are we going with canon Natsuki personality and behavior, or is it his version of it? Or it just goes, yeah. So it's just the mod improves when he breaks away from it. Is what I'm saying. Anyway, and I'll probably get to see Sayuri too. I'm concerned about her, but if I can make her understand that she's important to me, I hope it'll change something for her. I smiled to myself. So only after a few seconds I noticed Monika staring at me. Is something the matter, Monika? No, not really. It's good to see you smiling like that. You look surprisingly calm. I guess we'll say look. Look surprisingly calm after what just happened. It's just that I've decided to be a little more grateful for all the wonderful moments I'm spending with you. Walking outside, enjoying the fresh breeze, talking to you on a personal level. Sure, I'm a little disappointed in Natsuki's behavior and by the fact that I can't stay with Tormuse, but I think I should take pride in those simple things around me. After all, they've made me the person I am today, and as long as I can still enjoy them, that's all that counts. You're right. Spring weather sure is something, huh? Yes, I can never get enough of this warm weather. But butterflies and birds, flowers. Didn't we complain that it was cold a couple times? Anyway. Such great scenery to write and imagine, isn't it? Butterflies, birds, and flowers. Do you happen to like nature that much, Yuri? Of course. Is she going to suggest going to Euro Falls? I always feel at ease when I'm surrounded by nature. It feels like I'm free in a way. Makes me feel like all the animals and all the plants are with me. I sigh, taking the time to smell the scent of flowers around us. I'm a bit the same. I think I know some place that could interest you. Here it comes. Would you like having a look at it? I check my cell phone. It's not even that late yet. Spending a little bit of time with Monika alone would be interesting too. We barely spend any time together outside of school, just the two of us. I'd love to. Good. It's a little far away from here, but I think we can pull it off if we walk fast enough. I happily nod at her. Monika speeds up, leading me out of the school grounds in an unknown direction. Alright, I'm going to pause to get some more water. And I'm back, moving on. Oh, neat. Indeed, the walk takes a long while. After 10 minutes of speed walking, we enter a beautiful forest. I don't ever remember seeing anything like this in our city. I should get out more. It looks eerie, right? No, I wouldn't describe it like that. The amount of trees makes it look like it's a bit scary, but the forest itself is beautiful. I didn't know about this place before. You haven't seen half of it yet. Just a little bit more walking and we'll be there. Once again, we start walking, entering the forest. I'm getting more and more curious about the place Monika wants to bring me to. The more we walk, the darker the forest gets. Everything feels so silent and lively at the same time. There are no car noises, no students yelling or laughing. It's just the sound of birds and cicadas. The sound of our steps resonate. We don't say a word. Somehow the silence isn't awkward at all. Suddenly we end up walking in a big open space within the forest. I gasp in awe. This place is incredibly beautiful. Is this the place Monika wanted me to see? If so, I'm not disappointed at all. I look at Monika. She hasn't stopped. She's still walking towards the next trail. Is this the place, Monika? Oh, no, not at all. This is merely one of the great places you can find here. What I'd like to show you is even better. Even better? Don't be so curious, Yuri. I'll tell you when we're there. Monika speeds up once again. My legs still feel a little tired, but I managed to catch up to her. But this continues to raise the question of, like, what are Monika's motivations anyway? Like, in Rain Clouds, like, her focus seems to be on getting Sayuri to kill herself. Which, you know, sort of flies in the face of canon, really. I mean, there are indications in the original canon that she was just trying to make Sayuri undesirable, and like Sayuri killing herself was like an accidental side effect, but not that she was bothered by it. But yeah, Rain Clouds kind of made it all out like, no, really, she's trying to kill her. Like repeatedly bring up the rope, or making sure making sure Sayuri has rope so they can hang herself with. Yeah, so with that in mind, it's kind of like, so what are her intentions with Yuri then? Like there is a scene where she brought Hanako in, which may have just been it may just have been Sukadev going, I know, LOL, here's a cameo crossover thing, just for fun. But if we look at it through the lens of like, what's Monika trying to do? Yeah, I don't know. I got nothing. Maybe is she trying to bring more people into the world, or is she just generally experimenting with what she can do with the code, or what? But then we come to stuff like this, and it's like this, or with the first scene in the first day when they're walking through the cherry blossoms and stuff. what are her intentions? Like, what is she doing? What is her goal? What are her goals? I don't know. I mean, maybe we'll find out later. I'm gonna keep reading. I don't even bother checking the time. This entire walk is so relaxing, I don't really want to go back home. I don't even want it to end. However, at some point I notice there are less and less trees. Before I know it, Monika has stopped walking and is now looking at the horizon. I stop in my tracks to look around me. There's a huge lake in front of us. The soft wind is blowing and the warm air makes it feel surreal. The sun reflects in the water, making me able to see all the little fish at the bottom of the lake. It's like time has stopped. This place is something different, something unusual. I can't describe it, it just is. I stand there for a good minute, taking the time to look at every single element I can find in the landscape. I don't even know where I am. I slowly get back to reality and I look at Monika, who is clearly waiting for me to make some sort of reaction. So how do you like it? It's absolutely incredible. Who would have known we'd have such a wonderful place in our city? There's always more than you think around you, Yuri. That's why it's important to not take what you have for granted. That makes sense. This is some kind of secret place for me. If you could not tell the others about it, please. Of course I won't. This will be a secret. Your secret place? So that means she actually trusted me? She trusts me enough to show me the place she usually keeps for herself? Monika? I mean, you said this is your secret place, right? Doesn't it bother you to share it with someone like me? What do you mean, someone like you? I'm showing this place to you because you are you. I think we're similar, you know? We have the same way of thinking, I'm sure of that. Sorry, hold on, I need to pause. Sorry about that. There's a neighbor at the door who's yelling. I don't know if you could hear it through the mic, but it was just generally being distracting. Anyway, moving on. I am actually genuinely curious to see where this is going. Hopefully this gives us some insight into Monika's character or motivations or something. Anyway. We have the same way of thinking, I'm sure of that. Do you really think so? Yes, at least to a certain extent. After all, we both keep questioning our conditions and the world we live in, while at the same time trying to enjoy it. Even though I know there are things I won't ever be able to explain to others. She sighs. I'm glad I can at least count on you to listen to me. Is there anything you'd like to tell me? I did already. Did you? Indeed, you probably don't remember, though. Try to remember any particular moment when Monika could have told me about something important, but nothing comes to mind. Presumably he's talking about the whole Hanukkah scene, saying that the world isn't real and all that. I'm sorry, I really don't remember. That's normal. She says it with that as a matter-of-fact tone. It's frustrating. What am I supposed to remember? By the way, Yuri, about what happened in class. I knew this would come up at some point. It's Monika's role as the club president to tell me what I did wrong. I misbehaved, so I guess I must accept my retribution. You said you're used to being alone and rejected. Do you really feel that way? I stay silent. This isn't the kind of discussion I was expecting. Can't tell if this is better or worse than what I was expecting. Well, maybe I overdid it, you know. She shakes her head. I don't think so. I often see you eating alone during the lunch break. I told you we're similar. I can understand if you tell me you want to be alone or something like that. But to me, it doesn't look like that. I never really bothered talking about this. I've never really spent time wondering why I feel rejected in my class. But now that Monika's asking me, maybe it does bother me a little bit. When I'm with everyone in the club room, it's a little bit like I'm with some kind of second family. We're all one big united group. We love the same things. However, the people from my class, they scare me, you know? I know it's bad to judge people, I shouldn't be doing it, but when I read or when I write, they're always looking at me like I'm some kind of foreigner, like I'm different. They always stare at me, and it makes me uncomfortable. When I was younger, Natsuki would always defend me when the bigger students came to bother me. Yeah. When I was younger, it was re-establishing that Natsuki childhood friend thing. It's not the same now. It's more like they don't even think I'm worth their time. Doesn't make me particularly sad, you know, it's just that I don't want to be alone. So I'm thankful for your presence and for everyone else's, for creating this club. While I was speaking, I didn't notice the little tear rolling down my cheek. I wipe it with my sleeve. Thank you. I totally understand, Yuri. There's not much I can say that you wouldn't have thought about before. Oh, felt like I was going to sneeze and I didn't. But in my opinion, you're an amazing person. Maybe you have flaws, but who doesn't? Don't bother with them. As you said, we're here, right? No matter what happens, we're still this big united group you were talking about. Even if Tormes is here, everything will be the same. I can understand that this week has been different, and that Natsuki's behavior has also been different. But everything will be back to normal soon. We stay silent for a few minutes, looking everywhere around us. My heart feels a little lighter for some reason. Thank you. Why? I should be the one thanking you for showing me this place and for trusting me. No, I'm thanking you because you've had the courage to tell me what was on your mind. It makes me feel like this is a real friendship. Friendship is always real. At least, I'd like to believe so. It's hard to define what reality is. It's been a long time thinking about Monika's words. What reality is. Doesn't matter. As long as I can enjoy the time I have with my friends and then it's real to me. I don't think there's any other possible explanation to it in the end. Monika coughs to get my attention. Shall we get going? The walk back is going to take some time, and it wouldn't be a good idea to walk in the dark now, would it? Of course not. Two of us glance one last time at the sky before finally walking back into the forest. It's already significantly darker now. Monika was right, we better hurry back home. I get ready to turn left, but I hear her calling her behind me. I think that extra her was a typo. I'll be turning right, Yuri. I have something important to take care of. Is it alright if you go home on your own? No problem at all. Turn around to properly face her. Thank you so much, Monika. I really enjoyed this evening. I beam at her. It was a pleasure. See you on Monday. She turns around and waves at me. Okay. Oh well. I was hoping for a bit more insight into Monika's motivations. The closest thing I get out of that is that she, I don't know, feels some kind of kinship with Yuri, or I don't know. Don't feel like I learned a lot about it. Oh well. Moving on. I'm a little tired now. Just one last walk home and I'll be able to rest. Start my long walk back home. The orange light of the setting sun gives my street a beautiful summer-like glow. This week couldn't have ended better. This weekend will be important. I'll make sure everything goes well. I'll see Sayuri and Mom, I'll take care of the festival. This is all within my reach after all. I quietly hum as I unlock my door and enter my house. Drop my bag at the same usual spot and I sit on the sofa. Look at the ceiling, smiling. I feel good. Feeling good. Thought suddenly flashes across my mind and I look at my coffee table. Just as I thought, the knife is still out. It's still on it. There's still blood on it. I grab it and walk to the kitchen. I spend a minute carefully removing the blood from the blade. The knife's as good as new. Gently put it next to the sink. I'm not using it anymore. I'm going to stop. There's one thing I've learned today, it's that there are other ways to feel good. There are other people. There's nature. There's physical exercise. It's time to stop this. I'm not going to hurt myself anymore. There's always another solution. I sigh with relief as I walk back to the sofa. For what feels like a good hour, I just sit there, looking around, thinking about all of the recent events. My gaze stops in the little box near my old TV. It contains some movies Mom and I would watch together back in the old days. I stand up and open the box. There aren't many movies to choose from, but there's one that immediately catches my eye. It's an anime. I hated anime before, well I still do. This one was a gift from Natsuki a long time ago. I forced myself to watch it, and I ended up pestering my mother to watch it with me. I don't know how many times I've seen it. Without hesitating, I grabbed the disc and I inserted it in my DVD player. I'm assuming this is the movie that she alluded to in Rain Clouds, both that has a Euro Falls reference. I'm assuming that Euro Falls is going to come up at some point here. Nice movie to end the week. Takes a while to turn on the TV. I've totally forgotten how it works, considering how little I use it nowadays. After a bit of struggling, I finally managed to sit down on the couch in front of the movie. It's just like I remember. This horrible feeling I get when a good story ends. Turn off the TV and I lay down on the sofa. It's already dark outside. Maybe it's a little too late to call Sayuri. What did I even say? Maybe we should enjoy a walk? After all, what Monika and I did this evening turned out to be really enjoyable. Yes, a walk would definitely be great. But where? An idea suddenly popped into my mind. The movie I just saw, there was that specific scene where they visited waterfalls. If I remember correctly, Mom explained that these waterfalls are actually near our city. Would Sayuri enjoy that? I don't know. The darkness and the exhaustion make me unable to properly decide. Before trying to sleep, I decide to have a go at writing. For some reason, whenever I read or see something, I instantly feel the need to imagine something new. I can never get enough of the story. I grab a pencil and my notebook from my bag. It's hard to figure out the words I'm writing in the dark, but my hand won't stop. The ideas keep coming. So many scenarios, so many possibilities. So many things to imagine with words. How I admire those who write such stories. A capacity to convey emotions through works of art truly magnificent. A few pages of writing later, I take a look at the clock. To my surprise, I'm already halfway through the night. I was so absorbed in my work, I wasn't really worried about sleeping. I chuckle and I lay down on the sofa to my papers on my stomach. Close my eyes. Fully aware that I'll be sleeping on the couch again, but it doesn't really matter. I feel good right now. I should just enjoy it. I feel my body slowly fading away and my papers falling onto the ground as I fall asleep. Oh, another flashback dream sequence. Yuri, please don't lock your room like that. Please let me talk to you. No, is Dad, is he really... It had to happen at some point, Yuri. I'm just as saddened as you are, you know. Don't do this to me. Don't leave me alone. What? I slowly open my eyes. The morning sun illuminates my living room. Okay, I think that's a good note to end on. This is presumably going into the Eurofall scene with Sayuri again, tying itself to Rain Clouds for that matter. That scene we just had where she's writing and writing and writing. That's also I get the definite feeling that that's also to tie in with Rain Clouds because Yuri says that she was up late writing. Anyway, so yeah, I do feel like I'm complaining a lot in these recordings. I don't know. I hope it's not bothering people watching this. I don't know how many people are watching this, if any. I do get some subscribers. Sometimes I wonder, like, why do people watch my videos? I don't even know. So some people must be getting something out of it. But yeah, like I do want to try to find the good, even when if I'm spotting like so many negative things. Again, a lot of the criticisms I'm coming up with can be chalked up to the fact that this was done 2 years ago when the 2.5 years ago when the DDLC modding community was relatively new. Like even has the old MC sprite that no one uses anymore. And people's tastes have evolved since then. People are sick of seeing mods that are tied to the original canon. like this. So I mean, like I do want to try to appreciate the mod on its own merits, and honestly, like it's a lot more tolerable when it moves away from the canon and tells its own story. Like I would be interested in seeing a story that Sugadev comes up with, which is totally separate from the separate from the canon. Like if he's telling his own story, I'd be interested in seeing that. Like honestly, I'd be curious to see if he made a mod that is its own story that just moves away from this altogether. That'd be interesting. Not counting Do You Lich Club, that was like just a joke meme mod. But aside from that, yeah, I don't know. I'm still hoping that there are some moments that this. I mean, pretty soon we'll be moving into Act 2, and then it will at least no longer be tied to the Rain Clouds canon, because then it can has a little bit more opportunity to be its own thing, or so I hope. But yeah, that's something we'll have to find out at a later date. Until next time.